And now on to Dan Dunlap. He's principal at Jennings, a leading healthcare marketing and audience engagement firm. He is a healthcare marketer, blogger, author, and sought-after speaker. Dan serves on the editorial boards of Healthcare Marketing Advisor magazine and Healthcare Strategy and Trends, and is a contributor to Reagan's Healthcare Communication News. He's on the judging panels for the National Health Information Awards and the National Web Health Awards. I now hand it over to today's speaker.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We got lucky with this weather. It's beautiful out there. So enjoy the indoor climate. Well, I'm Dan Dunlap. I'm going to start us off today, and my goal is to only take about 30 minutes of our time and then turn it over to Benita and Cynthia because they've got incredible stories to tell. But I want to give today's conversation some context, and that's my goal, and share with you some of my thoughts about where healthcare marketing is going and why storytelling is becoming so important. Good? All right, let's rock and roll. So there has been a consumer revolution in healthcare. We now have this connected consumer, and that includes our employees and our physicians. I mean, they are all connected right now, and that has to change the way we do our jobs. We can't simply buy people's attention anymore with a broadcast schedule. That's not our future. Frankly, I don't think advertising is going to be our future as we move forward. I think I'll tell you more about that in a few minutes. But the consumer today controls what they watch, when they watch it, and on what screens they watch it. I remember I used to do marketing for Time Warner Cable maybe, 10 years ago. And this was their vision. They talked about, having this platform where consumers could choose to watch it whenever they wanted, wherever they wanted. And now we've achieved that. We're at that day. So storytelling is an ideal way for us to take advantage of this trend and to engage them, because there are too many choices out there. There are too many platforms. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm often sitting watching something on TV and working on my laptop or doing something on my laptop. And sometimes I have my cell phone going at the same time. So how do we get their attention? And I think terrifically crafted storytelling is a wonderful way to make that happen. Help these individuals connect with their brands. And we're going through this transformation in healthcare, right? We're going to go from this fee-for-service model to more of a population health management model. And inherently, we have to understand that that is going to change the way we market. And I don't think we're there yet. I don't see people making the shift saying, okay, my gosh, we're going to have to change the way we interact with the different constituencies that we market to. But that is the reality. It is going to change the way we market, because it's not going to be just about transactional healthcare, about you get sick, you come in, you use our services, and you leave. Our responsibility as marketers is going to be much more about wellness and prevention and keeping people educated and informed. And to do that, we have to engage. And it's not through traditional advertising. It absolutely is not. So how do we get consumers to take responsibility for their own health? It's one of the conversations I have with doctors all the time. They tell me, we're going to be paid based on our ability to have compliant patients and have them participate in their own health, but I don't have control of that. Well, I would argue we have the opportunity to play a role in that by engaging consumers in their health in a way we never had before. That really wasn't our goal. We've just been spewing content at consumers for the most part and hoping some of it sticks. Well, that has to change. So there's a need for healthcare marketing reform. We have to change the way we do our jobs and move from marketing. I use women in this case, because women are 99% of what I end up marketing to, and I'm sure it's the case with most of you. We have to stop marketing to or at women and start engaging them and marketing with them. And that means involvement. We have to make an investment in community. And community, for me, is the biggest theme right now that we need to embrace in healthcare marketing. I think if each of us saw our jobs as community builders, where we bring these people together, whatever their interests are, we create these communities of shared interests. So if you're dealing with cancer, oncology, you create communities where cancer patients can come. They can share their stories. They can learn about your resources. It's that community mindset, though. It changes the way you market if you think of yourself as a community builder. Because what are some of the things inherent in communities? Sharing, shared values, respect for each other. There are all kinds of attributes that go along with community. And if you see that as part of your role as a marketer, you stop just being a producer and generator of content. And you become much more, you put yourself more in the mode of engaging consumers. And that's where I want us to be. And you provide value in those interactions. And today, what all three of us are going to show you are products that provide much more value in the interaction. And it's primarily video. But I would argue you can do it through your website, through a blog, through all kinds of different platforms. So we need to provide more rewarding brand experiences. And I'll show you an example of a really unrewarding brand experience in a minute. So I really see our role as providing environments where we can share information and healing can take place. And those environments can be online. They certainly spill over into the real world, although I don't like the distinction between real world and online. Online is real. But creating these environments on Facebook, on your website, through Twitter, through LinkedIn, whatever it might be, or true online communities like you find through some of these services online. Creating these communities where people can come and congregate and share their stories and learn from you, and you become this valued resource. And you still promote your services via these tools, but it's not that blatant advertising throwing stuff at consumer. This is much more in a context of the consumer has said, I care about this kind of information. I'm in this community, so please share with me. That's a much better environment to be providing information. So infusing those conversations with effective storytelling is going to be essential. So where can it happen? I've already said it can be in blogs, it can be through Pinterest. How many of you use Pinterest right now? It is absolutely the hottest platform right now for women. It's growing faster than anything else. Anybody know what the second hottest platform is? Let's use mothers as an example. Mothers in the United States, what's the second hottest social media platform? Blogger. Most people don't know that. Blog, it's a tremendous trend right now. But we've got online communities. If you've never been to Everyday Health or Inspire.com, Inspire.com creates these great communities for patients. It's well worth checking out. I'm actually having dinner with some of the guys from Inspire.com tonight. They have right now 5 million or more blog posts. And they have a terrific partnership with Stanford Medicine. Stanford Medicine has a great blog where they feature patient stories. And it's phenomenal. I recommend checking it out. And then your website. Your website can be more inviting. It can be more of a community space. Some of the spaces I've been a part of, and my firm has been a part of, the Signature Moms blog for an organization called Signature Healthcare in Brockton, Massachusetts. We created this mommy blog bringing in moms from the community. And rather than just hammer them with advertising about our pediatric services, we decided this would be a much more inviting way to promote our pediatric services. It's very subtle, it's very relationship and community oriented, but we've had over 100,000 visits in 2 years. We're up to 116,000 total visits, I think, as of today. It is remarkable, the experience, and you create this inviting environment and people are more apt to take in the information you share with them. So the most recent blog post we have on there, the moms write posts, and we also invite our physicians to contribute posts periodically about pediatric issues, things a mom would be interested in. And our most recent blog post is about pediatric hospitalists and what is a hospitalist, and starting to share that story and educate them about that. But you can see the level, what amazes me is the level of engagement. This blog has 2,400 subscribers. That's amazing. Those are people who have opted in. So every time a new blog post goes live, they get an email saying, hey, there's a new post on the Signature Moms blog, check it out. That's incredible engagement. We have another blog. This one's not a mommy blog. This is for moms of multiple generations, which is really interesting concept. A really diverse set of moms. It doesn't have quite the traffic that the Signature Moms blog does, but we had 27,000 visits in 2012. I'll take that. And the cost to maintain these blogs is, under $10,000 a year. It's really easy to do. And the beautiful thing about both of these blogs that I'm showing you is that people from the community write most of the posts. So the marketing department at the hospital isn't having to do it. All we do is some minor editing and then we put it live on the internet. But that's it. I want to show you, when we talk about storytelling, I want to show you why storytelling is so effective. And one of the things I would tell you is normal people are interesting. They're just fascinating. It's one of the things I love about my job. I get to go out and meet all these really interesting people. People who work for your hospitals, the mommy bloggers who contribute to our blogs. And they're fascinating. And this is a video of Rashonda Pratt. And it's a horrible video. It is the worst video you will see today, okay? So please, don't think this is the standard. This is a horrible video I shot with this little flip camera in the dark in a restaurant. We were having a dinner. When we start these blogs and we recruit the bloggers, we bring them in for a blogger brunch. And they all get to meet each other. And you know what happens? In an hour, they start to build a community. We bring 8 women around the table, and they start supporting each other and sharing their stories. And that is the beginning of community. And we tell them, you have to support each other. But I videotape them, just using my little camera. And this is not meant to be high-quality video, but it shows you how interesting these stories are. So here she is. Let me go up here and click on it. Again, crappy video quality.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Rashonda Pratt, and I'm the mother of 3, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. I've also been married 60 years. I'm also a mompreneur, they call us. I run 2 of my own businesses. And I'm also a leader in my church. I do a lot of things. And so I started a blog called Supermodel. It's actually a play out the word supermodel. I started the blog because one of my 25-year-old single friends always makes fun of my life in a positive, nice way. But she always calls me, she's like, hey, Ro, what are you doing? I said, oh, girl, I'm living the glamorous life. My 1-year-old just spit up on me, the 3-year-old had a temper tantrum, and I can't even find the 5-year-old. Having a glamorous life. So I decided to start this blog because of everything that...
Okay, that gives you a taste of Rashonda. Now, she didn't tell us anything really fascinating. She's talking about normal stuff that we all deal with kids and life, but she's interesting. And that's what I find about these blogs, with these women who contribute to the blogs. They're sharing their normal, everyday stories, but they're relatable. And that's great storytelling. And it doesn't have to be through video. It can be through the written word. Most of what we're going to show you today is through video. But don't forget about the written word. It is not dead. You can still do amazing storytelling and blogs. Because they're focused, these are women's blogs, mommy blogs. Because they're focused, they bring in a group who shares those interests. They're looking for commonalities. That's one of the things communities are built upon. And I really see these as communities, and I see our role as being community builders. Now, your website, most hospital websites don't do much to really engage the target audience. They just don't. And there's no excuse for not making them more engaging. This is and I'm sorry it's so blown out, but this is a screenshot of a web page in a physician finder for a real hospital. I blocked out the name of the hospital to protect the innocent. But this is a particular physician that they're an OBGYN. And look at it. It looks like a prison shop. And I know you've seen them where it has just a silhouette of the face. There's no real face. It's just a silhouette, like an avatar. This is no way to market. You think about your physicians and you think about your patients. Do we make many more important choices in our lives than selecting a physician that we're going to work with, who's going to guide us through whatever journey it is, whatever health issue we're dealing with? That's a pretty darn important decision. Am I right? And this is what we offer up. This is how you're supposed to make your choice. It's horrible. I mean, it's like 1940s. We're in 2013. We need to change. I don't even want a good color photo of that guy. I want to meet that guy on video. If he's going to be my OBGYN, which let's hope I don't need an OBGYN, but if I did, I want to meet him on video. I mean, when I go to a resort and I'm checking them out online, I want to see video. I don't want to see still photographs because I know what you can do with a still photograph. You know, I've actually worked with photographers who could set up a room and make it look twice the size it actually is and use the right lens. But video tends to be pretty truthful. And I want to meet these doctors by video. So my challenge to you that I throw out there is let's start capturing these physicians on video. It's too important not to. And it gives you a competitive advantage. I guarantee it. People want 30 seconds or 60 seconds to meet that individual, to select that individual. And talk about some of the benefits. You want to rank high on search engines? Video will help you immensely with search. 77% of patients use search prior to booking an appointment with a physician. That's no great surprise. But they're going online. That's what you need to know. 1 in 8, then, we're searching health information, looked at a hospital video. They want video. If we're not offering them video, we're behind the times. The reason more of them didn't watch video is because it's not available. We aren't offering them video. And the chances of getting a page 1 listing on Google increase 53 times if you're using video. And I've got all kinds of more. You know, 1.6 billion videos are watched each day in the U.S. We are a group of video consumers. I'm not going to belabor it. You get the point. So the same group that we did the blog for, Signature Healthcare, had a challenge with their physicians. They were afraid of losing physicians. Their physician group's contract was coming up for renewal, and they're in a very competitive environment where people are always coming in and buying each other's physician groups and just taking them right out from under them. They wanted to attract new physicians and look like a very physician-friendly organization. And they wanted to present their physicians to consumers because they had a physician finder just like the one I just showed you where you see a still photo and a few bullets from their bio and it really wasn't compelling. So they challenged us to address that. And we went in and to date we videotaped or recorded 60 physicians. We go back and edit them. I interview them one-on-one. And we create little 1-minute videos that introduce these physicians to their peers, to somebody checking out the hospital who might be thinking of coming and working there and saying, is that a physician-friendly organization where I might want to work? And they see this and go, wow, they really market their docs there. That's a good place to work. And it's really important for consumers who are making a choice about either an OBGYN or an internist or whatever it might be. I'm going to show you some examples of the videos, and we created a microsite to go with it. And of course, we repurpose these videos across so many different platforms. They're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, they're on Google+. How many of you have a Google+ page for your hospital? Have you populated it with videos? You should, and you can feed your YouTube right into it. They make it easy because obviously they're owned by Google. But it's such a missed opportunity if you're not taking the videos that you do have and putting them on Facebook, putting them on YouTube, and so on. So, with that said, I'm going to come up here and show you some of these videos. This is one of my favorites. This is OBGYN, Tatasi Waters, and she's just a remarkable lady.
What my patients probably don't know about me is that I'm a big Cartoon Network fan. And I think it's because what I do for a living is so intense. So for me to sit down and just laugh at something incredibly silly is relaxing for me. My name is Tatasi Waters, and I'm an obstetrician gynecologist at Signature Healthcare. I first decided to start saying I want to be a doctor when I was 7. And then later in high school, my first anatomy lab was when it really clicked for me that I wanted to be a physician. I fell in love with wanting to understand how the human body worked. And for me, obstetrics and gynecology was the perfect mix. From the obstetric side, I really enjoy watching a human life from its very beginnings. And from the gynecologic side, I enjoy talking with women and getting to know them and through them their life experiences. I'm really there to help encourage them to maintain their health. Those one-on-one interactions where you're just sitting with another human being and trying to help them understand a little bit more about themselves. If I feel like I've accomplished that, then it is a good day.
What do you think about that as a way to present your physicians? A little better than the physician finder? Now here's Dr. Dern. Dr. Dern looks like a wild man. He's got this white hair and beard. And the client, when we went to videotape Dr. Dern, before he came in, they said, Dan, do what you can with this guy. We really don't want to put him on video. We don't want to take his picture. You know, he's a mess. So we recorded Dr. Dern, and this is what we ended up with. And you tell me what you think.
I'm Michael Dern. I'm a family physician, family doc. I've been at this for about 32 and a half years with Signature Healthcare. What I hope to do is try to take where technology today is bombarding us with electronic health record, with electronic medical record, and iPods and iPads, and this pad and that pad. And by the end of it, all the electronics bombarding us. I'm trying to take what was once our noble profession and help slow down what's starting to become a depersonalized industry. And I love 110 Liberty Street with all my heart. You know, people say, but it's so big. I said, yeah, but it's what happens inside the exam room. And so what happens inside the exam room then translates into, if you need a test, you have it right there. I can go down and look at an EKG with a cardiologist and not have to tell the patient, come back, you know, tomorrow to get the results of your test. And it just makes it so much easier to practice and so much better for our patients to have everything right there in the building. It's not just diagnosing a cancer, it's just not making sure the blood sugar is right. It's more than that, taking care of a patient. And after 32 plus years, some of the patients have been in me in my entire career, it is an extended family. So family medicine, family practice, and taking care of the entire family makes for a great day.
So what do you think? Was it a good choice to videotape him? People love that video. All right, I'm going to. One of the challenges I hear a lot when I'm working with my hospital clients is having foreign-born physicians with pretty heavy accents, and what do we do with them? How do we market them? So I wanted to show you one, and this is Rosa Bermudez Emanuele, a lovely woman. And Signature Healthcare has a ton of foreign-born physicians. I mean, from Jordan and all over the world. And I think it's a challenge that is easily overcome if you do your job right. If you're good with the interview and if you're good in editing the piece. So here's Rosa Emanuele, and she was very nervous about doing this video. They all are. It's interesting. These are such well-educated people, and they come in terrified. And my job is to sit there and make them feel real comfortable.
As far as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a physician. My father was a physician, different kind. He's a radiologist, but I grew up seeing him as a resident, working late nights and discussing cases with his colleagues. I found it fascinating. My name is Rosa Bermudez, and I'm an OBGYN in Signature Healthcare. What made me choose OBGYN, I remember that being my first rotation in medical school. I loved the excitement of being called and rushing to the hospital to witness one of the best experiences a human being can experience, which is the birth of their child. It was amazing to me, and I fell in love with it. I love my role as an OBGYN. What makes my job fulfilling is seeing my patients every day, to be happy to see me and me being happy to see them, and have that trust between us. I can be a teacher and a student for my patients. That dynamic between my patients and I am very grateful to experience it every day.
Pretty cool to have a physician say that they're willing to learn from their patients, that they're a student in that interaction as well as the teacher. So that's Rosa Bermudez. I'm going to show you one of the things we did is we spliced this group together and created a compilation video. It's about 2 minutes long, just showing kind of the breadth of the different physicians and introducing them to the community and to their peers. Again, we really wanted to humanize them, and I hope that comes through.
Our patients are at the center of our care.
We get to come alongside patients and really make a difference in their lives and really help them with their health and help them feel better.
And the patients know that you care. And they're not just, a medical record number. They're not just someone filing in the room and filing out.
We all are integrated and work together.
And it allows you to be part of a patient's life in a way that no other profession allows.
One piece of information that might surprise my patients is that I was an officer in the Navy. I have a 15-month-old, and half the time I don't know what I'm doing with her.
My hope and dream was to become a professional baseball player and be the shortstop for the New York Yankees.
Reading stories together at home. My 2 children.
I'm a big foodie.
I'm a mountain girl. I love to cook. Cook it.
I like to cook. Baseball, triathlons,
Tennis, travel.
Garden.
soccer, fishing. I believe in giving back to the community.
Signature Medical Group is one of the largest multi-specialty and multi-physician groups.
Well, one thing that I love about Signature is that everyone is underneath one roof.
They can get very high quality care down in the South Shore, and they don't have to drive 30 miles into Boston.
It's not just diagnosing a cancer, it's just not making sure the blood sugar is right.
After a while, writing a prescription of a blood pressure pill can get a little bit stale. But having a connection with somebody through a life crisis and being able to help them through that and make it a little bit easier for them and their families, then I've known I've had a great day.
So storytelling, using your physicians for effective storytelling to engage consumers. You see how different this is than what we've typically been doing within this industry? This really is the future, and it's what consumers deserve, and it's what referring physicians deserve if they're coming to check you out. And again, depending on your institution, the videos are going to look different. I work with Tufts Medical Center. They're an academic medical center. This is a community hospital or a small health system, but it's truly a community hospital. Their videos are very different because they're speaking to different audiences and they're portraying a different brand. But this works perfectly for Signature Healthcare. The results, in the first 12 months, the microsite had 8,250 visits, 22,000 page views. To give you context, their physician finder in the prior year had only 4,000 visits. Talk about the appeal. If you present information, you do effective storytelling, you'll get this kind of result. And be sure, and I already mentioned this, repurpose your video, website, blog, Google+, Facebook, Pinterest, you name it, wherever you can share. You make the investment in a video, so leverage it across as many platforms as you can. Because you know how consumers are. Some want to only learn about you on your Facebook page, and they're going to go there. Some might go to Google+. It's not the hottest platform in the world for consumers, but you have to kind of cover all your bases. My storytelling tips, if you don't capture the right content when you're in there doing the interview, you're never going to create it when you're editing the piece. You've got to have a great interview. Put someone in there to do the interviews who can speak with a physician intelligently, who can have a conversation, who the physician might well see as a peer because of their knowledge of the industry. That's going to put the physician more at ease. You have to have someone who's going to ask smart questions. The best question I ask doctors when I'm interviewing them is not, where did you go to medical school? Why did you become a doctor? I ask them, I pose the scenario, I say, look, I know there are days where you drive home from work after a long day and you say, this is why I went into medicine. What happened on that day? It's the best question I ask in an interview. But you have to have a really quality interview to get the material out of it. Obviously, good editing can help. But get B-roll footage. We usually shoot with 2 cameras so we can get the side shots and the different angles as well as the straight-on shot. I'm typically not a huge fan of those straight-on, locked-in camera shots. It's just not very compelling typically. So we try to always shoot with 2 cameras. Try to be conversational with them. And And I always start the interview by coaching the physician. And that's why you need someone, you know, I'm 52 years old, I can sit across from most of them, and I've got some gray hair. They seem to listen to me, which is a rare thing. But no one at my home listens to me, but these doctors do. But, you know, I tell them, I say, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to be edited out of this piece. So I need you to basically repeat the question back to me in the form of your answer. And I said, I'm going to stop you and start you. It doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It just means I liked what you said probably, and I want you to say it again to see if we can capture it in another way. So I'm very much a teacher with them, and I very much coach them, and I let them know that I'm coaching them. And I tell them it's okay to stop and start. If you screw up, start over. It's fine. And then have fun with it. These cost about $1,500 a video. Just to, you know, and that it's a pretty good quality production. There's a lot cheaper ways to do it. I don't necessarily recommend it, but these are about $1,500 a video. We come in, and what we did on these to make it as cost effective as we could, we'll shoot 10 or 12 doctors in a day. It's a really long day. We have an hour slot for each, and you guys know what it's like working with physicians. 2/3 of them might show up on time, 1/3 don't show up at all, or you're calling to find out where they are, and we're constantly juggling the schedule throughout the day. But we'll often do 2 days back to back and do 12 physicians a day so that we can pack them in. That's my information. Feel free to email me questions, anything you'd like to talk about afterwards. I'm available. And next up is Cynthia. I kept track.